Hey y'all, welcome back to session 3 of the Brand in Demand Bootcamp. First of all, I apologize because I had some technical difficulties with with StreamYard, but we worked through those issues, and now I'm live with you. So today is session 3 of the Brand in Demand Bootcamp, and if you're just joining me, the Brand in Demand Bootcamp is my free 5-day high-level training series for coaches, service providers, consultants, authors, speakers, anyone who has a message and provides a service. So on day 1, we talked about building a personal brand and the things that set you apart and help you to build a unique personal brand. And we talked about a few things around getting yourself prepared to serve people. So the first day was all about you. And then yesterday we talked about how to brand your expertise, meaning how to take everything that you do and package it up into a promise that you are going to provide to a promise that you're going to deliver on to your audience and to your ideal customers. Hey, I can't see your name, but hello, thank you for joining live. So for those of you who are watching live, just let me know you're watching live. If you're watching the replay, just let me know you're watching the replay. Hey, Carmen. Carmen is with us live. I'm excited about today because I told you that each day builds on the previous day. So I wanted to give a few quick tips for about yesterday when we talked about branding your expertise, and then we're going to dive into talking about building authority and how building authority is not as difficult as it seems. We're going to talk about how to build authority when you're brand new, and I'll even talk about some tips and strategies that you can use for those of you who are brand new, your consulting business or your coaching business is brand new, and you're like, okay, how do I step out here and get people to trust me when I haven't had any clients yet? We'll talk about some strategies that you can use. But first, let's go back to yesterday, just in case you need more support with creating your expert positioning statement. So we talked about some easy ways to come up with your expert positioning statement. Essentially, you want to talk about who you help and what you help them to do, because that statement that's going to be your brand promise, and everything you do around building your brand is going to be rooted in that promise. The other thing is you're going to talk about, or you can do an optional so that. So you want to talk about who you help and what you help them to do, okay? And then you can give a so that they can accomplish whatever, right? Because there's something that your ideal clients want to do, but there's something that's stopping them from doing that thing that they want to do. Okay. So when we talk about who do you help, we talked about do you want to help men, women, single parents, couples, moms, entrepreneurs? We talked about being specific. Carmen says, yesterday helped me to clean up and synthesize my expert positioning statement. That's wonderful, Carmen. I'm so glad to hear that. So, and that's what it's all about, right? It's about getting clarity so you can move forward. And I know that some of you are feeling that pull. And I talked about this in my How to Start Your Coaching Business workshop about you're feeling this pull to pull things together so that you can get to that next level. And you're starting to show up different, and you're pursuing purpose, and you're pursuing excellence, and you're working on the foundational things of your business because you know that there's a next level for you. And so, who do you want to help? And then the other thing that I wanted to go back and talk about around this, because if you need more help, if you need more support, I'm going to give you some tips. First of all, if you haven't printed out your game plan, make sure you print out your game plan or at least take a look at it. There are tons of branding and business resources in the back of the game plan. The last 3 pages are full of branding and business resources for you. So if you're looking for ways to get your website up, start your email list, how to get paid, how to automate your social media posts. Those resources are in the back of the game plan for you. So print that out or at least scroll to the bottom so that you can see those resources. So if you're looking to do something, you could click on one of those links and get started. So so let's go a little bit deeper. Hey, Mantha. Hey. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Y'all know, like, for those of you who already know me, you know I love to do what I'm doing right now. Like, this is my jam, but I couldn't do it without you. So thank you guys for showing up and hanging out with me. And I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself and doing the work. This is the stuff that people don't take the time to get clarity on. So this week is a week of clarity. It's a week of breakthroughs so that you can build that foundation and stand on that foundation to get to your next level. So the other thing I want you to think about when you're creating your expert positioning statement, I want you to think about your ideal client and think about their struggle. So who do you help? But what is their struggle? Are they struggling with a lack of confidence? Are they struggling with their divorce? Are they struggling with getting older? Are they struggling with their finances? Are they struggling with a lack of purpose? There's some kind of struggle that they're dealing with right now that you can help them through. Okay. Then I want you to get into their minds and think about, what are their thoughts? How are they feeling? Do they have fear? Do they have limiting beliefs? Are they feeling unqualified? Do they feel frustrated? Do they feel unheard? How are your ideal clients feeling? What do they feel about, what is that situation that they're in that you're going to help them to get through? What is it causing them to feel? Okay. Then I want you to think about, what do they want? Do they want a successful business? Do they want to be fit? Do they want to write a book? Do they want to discover their purpose? What do they want? Okay. And then that's ultimately going to help you determine what outcomes you're going to help them to achieve. And you can incorporate those things, those ideas into your statement. So, like, for example, with inside of the group with Carmen's statement, she shared her statement, but then I went back to her. She shared her statement, and then she shared 3 topics that she likes to talk about. So in order for me to help clarify her statement, I went back to the topics that she loves to talk about. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, I see where she's going with this. And I was able to use the topics that she enjoys talking about to clarify her statement. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. It's important because you have to speak your audience's language. Okay. I love using the example of the caterpillar and the butterfly. Now, my clients have probably heard this 1,000 times. If you've been on my workshops before, you've probably heard this 1,000 times too. But today is going to be 1,001 because repetition is key. So I like to use the example of a caterpillar and a butterfly because a caterpillar and a butterfly have the same DNA. If you took a caterpillar to be tested, the DNA to be tested, then they will probably say this is a butterfly, or vice versa. If you took the DNA of a butterfly to get tested, they will say, well, this is caterpillar. It's the same DNA, okay? And so think about how that butterfly starts out. It starts out like a caterpillar, right? And then that caterpillar goes through a transformational process and it becomes a butterfly, okay? That's you. You started out as a caterpillar. And whatever you went through, whatever journey God took you on, you changed and you transformed into this amazing, beautiful butterfly. And now you're going back to help the other caterpillars to transform into butterflies as well. However, if you are the butterfly and you show up talking to the caterpillar about flying and about wings, the caterpillar is going to be very confused because the caterpillar is not there yet. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments. So this is what when you get excited about your transformation and you're on a different level, you're speaking a language that your ideal clients do not yet understand. Okay? They don't understand the language that you're speaking, and because of that, your message is not hitting them. It's not grabbing them by the hearts. And that's what you need to be able to do with your messaging, because we're emotional people and we buy based off of emotion. Okay? If your message is not connecting, they're going to overlook you. And that is why when I'm working on your statements, I'm helping you to speak your ideal client's language. I'm telling you, being clear is better than being cute. When it comes to you building a business, a thriving business, when it comes to you commanding the dollars, clear is better than cute. And it does not matter how cute it sounds to you. What's important is how is it coming off to your ideal clients. So you've got to be able to speak their language so that they understand what you're talking about, okay? But check this out. Because you were once a caterpillar, you understand the caterpillar language, right? So you just have to remember those times and speak their language. I spoke with a doctor one time, and she told me, she said, I really wanna connect with women, and I really want to build a relationship with my audience. And she was like, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And I said to her, she's OBGYN. And so she talked about how, women are already uneasy about going to see their OB. And so, and I'm like, that's very true. Like most women, that's just an uneasy experience. And so what she wanted to do was she wanted to tear down the wall and build a connection with her audience. And I made a suggestion to her. I said, well, the first thing that might make a difference with you connecting with your audience is take off some of the letters behind your name. And the reason why I suggested that is because I said, first of all, they don't know what those letters mean, right? She's very qualified. She had the whole alphabet after her name. And I said, because that means something to your peers, and they will understand what it means when they see it on paper. But you're not trying to connect with your peers right now. You want to build a connection with your audience. You want to connect with these women. And I said, the first thing is those letters can be intimidating to your audience, but yet for your peers, they're going to understand what all of those letters mean. And so she took the letters off, and she just used her name, Dr. So and so. And now she has a beautiful connection with her people. She's engaging with them. They're, she's giving them tips, and she's inviting them to come into her practice. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. But when you're making money, when you have a business, you got to make money, right? If you're if you're one of those believers in business and you struggle to charge people, been there and done that. Right. I've been in a place where I was working for people for free, doing things for them that I do from in my business. Right. This is not me going to church and volunteering for hospitality to serve food or serve meals or something like that. I was actually doing stuff for people that I do in my business for them, but I was doing it for free. And to the point where my bills were falling behind, and I'm working for people for free, but my bills are falling behind. Okay. That's what it took to push me to the point where I had to say, I can't do this for free anymore. This is my business. This is how I put food on my table. You cannot work for free. If you're in business, then God expects you to make money, because that's what a business does. And you have to be able to charge people without feeling guilty about it. That's a biblical principle. You're worthy. Okay. Working for free is not biblical. Okay. And I'm just saying that to my fellow believers in business. When we are in business, God expects us to make money. Okay. Think about the strategies. I love how when if you go back and read the story about Jacob, and how when he was getting ready to leave Laban, they worked out a deal. And the deal was, Jacob, okay, when you get ready to go, you take all of the spotted cattle and leave me all the solid colored cattle, right? So God gave Jacob a strategy to make the cattle and create more spotted cattle. And he ended up leaving with more than what Laban had. That's a business strategy. Okay. God gives business strategy, just like the same God who anoints you to prophesy, to pray, to lay hands. That's the same God who anointed you for business. And you've got to be able to put these strategies forth and implement these strategies so that you can make money. Think about the parable of the talents, right? The one who buried his talent was called wicked. Okay. We have the wisdom, right? God is the one who gives us the power to get wealth. We have the power to obtain wealth. And it comes with you coupling what you have, the talents that you've been giving, and increasing that thing. And we all have the ability to be fruitful. We all have the ability to multiply. It comes natural to us. And if you don't think that, you got to think again. We all have the ability to be fruitful. To be fruitful means to grow from within, right? Grow from within. Because God, when God created the fruit, you go back and look in the book of Genesis. When God created the fruit, the Bible says he put the seed in the fruit. Okay. The ability to reproduce, the ability to grow is already in it. So you've got everything you need to be successful is already in you. Okay? An apple tree does not, every apple that's going to grow on an apple tree is already in the seed. Everything you're ever going to be is already in you. God put it in you already. Now is the time to develop it, right? Just like you develop a seed. You've got to develop that thing and walk it out. You're already wealthy. You're already wealthy. You've got to tap into it. The wealth is already in you, okay? So when we're talking about building your brand, everything starts out as a seed. So yesterday when we talked about how to take all of your expertise and package it up into a promise that's clear, you want it to be clear and you want it to be simple, not overcomplicated, not speaking over your ideal client's head, but you're speaking directly to them where they are. So that means you need to use words that they understand. Don't use words that they won't understand. Okay? Use words that are clear and use words that grab them by the heart. Okay? And so that's why I talk to you about what are their thoughts? What are their limiting beliefs? This is stuff that you have to understand as a marketer. When I first started in business, I did a webinar and I couldn't get people to sign up for this webinar. And I'm like, what is going on with this webinar? Like, why can't I get people to sign up? It was all about getting started with a coaching business. And so I had these Facebook ads running and like people just weren't signing up. And so I couldn't figure out what was going on until I really started thinking about, well, what kind of beliefs might my people have that could be keeping them from working with me? There are some beliefs that your ideal clients have that may keep them from working with you. And you got to understand that. So in this case, what I did was I thought about how I had set the webinar up and then I realized, oh, I said, my people think that they have to already be they already have to be in business. They think they need to have a lot of certifications to get started. There are some things getting in the way. Those things are getting in the way of them starting the coaching business because they think they need to have all these qualifications and they can't do it if they're brand new. Okay. You can start a coaching business. You could be brand new to coaching and you can start off with charging high ticket prices. You absolutely can. And so just because you're new to the business, that doesn't mean that you're new to what you do. There's a difference, right? There's a difference to being brand new to your skills, but you're not, right? How many of you already have experience with what you do, with what you're going to the service you're going to provide in coaching? Let me know in the comments. If you already have experience with the services that you're going to provide in coaching, let me know in the comments. Because you're not new to that thing that you're going to be helping people to accomplish. But you may be new to doing it in the business setting. There's a difference, right? Tammy says, I do. Exactly. So true, Carmen. So you have the experience, right? And remember when I told you being an expert is not about how much you know, it's about how you position yourself. You could be an expert in one step, but somehow we believe that we have to know every single thing to be expert. None of us have the whole picture. None of us know everything, right? We're just going to be skilled in the thing that God has given us to do. We're going to be an expert in that thing, okay? Yes, see, that's what I'm talking about, Carmen. I have experience with the service I provide. My marketing is lacking. That's what I'm talking about. You know your stuff, okay? So being new to business doesn't mean like this is not your first time around the block, right? And it's like, okay, my marketing might not be together, but I can help you get these results, right? So you got the experience, right? So don't get that mixed up with being new to business. Okay, you're not new to what you do. You may just be new to providing it in the business setting, or you may be new to marketing, like what Carmen said, right? So don't let that rattle your confidence, because this is not your first time around the block, right? You got the experience. So when you're stepping out and when you're looking to build authority, In your game plans, authority is the power to influence. Authority is the power to influence. And when you build authority, and you can do this even if your business is brand new, because we just talked about how you got the experience, right? This may just be you delivering that experience in a different setting where you're actually charging people. You're coming out of that free space. And I help my clients to break through this pretty quickly, right? All of my clients are women of faith. And the way that we do this is, once we create their offer, I'm like, okay, how much you want to charge? And they tell me how much they want to charge. And most of the time it's too low. And I'm like, okay, this is what we charging, and this is what we going with. This is what you're gonna charge. And they're like, okay, I'm stepping out here and this is what I'm gonna charge. And they go for it, because now they don't have to think about it. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going with. This is the price I'm charging, and I'm gonna make this thing happen. One of my clients raised her prices, and she started drawing in even more clients than she's ever had, because she raised her prices. I want you to understand this. Your prices are a part of your brand. Your pricing is a part of your brand. Okay? Let me tell you a secret. On 2 different occasions, so the first example that I want to share is a fellow coach who said, I don't understand. I just talked to this lady. I got off the phone with her, and then she went and enrolled in somebody else's program, and they charge more money than I do. She said, I don't understand that. And then I had someone else who was like, I cannot book speaking engagements. Like, I'm trying to book speaking engagements, and these corporate places, they won't hire me to come in and speak to their people. So in the first example, here's the thing. People, you have people who buy based on different things, right? You have people who buy based on the value, and then you have people who buy based on the price. Okay. Now, I'm a value buyer, meaning in most cases, I'm not too worried about the price tag, because I want to know what I'm getting. If I feel like what I'm getting out of it is worth it, I will figure out how I'm going to pay for this thing, right? Whether it's out of my price range or in my price range, I'm going to figure out how to pay for this, because my thing is, I'm looking at the value that I'm going to get, right? A price buyer they're not really too concerned about the value, because they're looking at the price, right? And so the funny thing is, in some cases, I'm a price buyer, right? So, for example, people think I spend a lot of money on clothes. I do not. Okay. When I buy clothes, I'm like, I need this to be at least 65% off before I buy this, right? So people, when they see me with these certain clothes and things that I wear, listen, you better know that I bought something on sale. I rarely buy something full price, right? So when it comes to certain things, I have to really, really want something to pay full price for. When it comes to clothes and things, like materialistic things, I'm more likely to spend $20,000 on investing in my business education. And I have, and I do. Okay. $20,000 and up. Investing in myself, investing in my business education, investing in college education. When it comes to those things, I am a value buyer. Okay. But when it comes to like clothes, materialistic things, I'm a price buyer, right? So it's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you have to know who you're looking for. If you're looking for value buyers, then they have different things in mind, right? So a few weeks ago, one of my clients closed a $27,000 sale, because we worked together and we focused on articulating the value, because she said, I want to ask for more money. And I said, let's ask for more money, but let's give them a reason to pay you more money. So every single point of her offer, we focused on articulating the value. And that is how she closed a sale higher than the budgeted price that they had. They had a certain budget. She closed that sale over the budget that they had, because she was able to articulate the value, and they were value buyers. They were after the value and not necessarily the price tag. And I've done the same thing. I've said, listen, I can't invest in that. And then I turn when the value comes out, I'm like, oh, Oh, that's what I'm getting out of this. That's the transformation I'm getting out of this. Okay, I'm all in. Here's the thing. Your ideal clients are paying you for the transformation that you provide. I see this mistake all the time where people are emphasizing, oh, you get 5 sessions, you get this workbook, you get this, and that's great. All of those things are great. We're going to talk about that on tomorrow when we talk about selling. But what people really want is, okay, what are these 5 sessions going to help me to do? Okay. People lead with the features of the thing, how many sessions you get, how many ebooks you get, how long the sessions are going to be. But what they really should lead with is the transformation, because that's what the people are paying you for. So you got to be able to understand what that transformation is going to be. Okay. So authority is the power to influence, and authority builds trust. Authority is all about trust. We are not spending money with people that we do not trust. We're not doing that. Especially now during these times, we're not doing that. When we spend money, we want to know that we can trust the person that we're investing with. Okay. So building authority helps you to, number one, it helps you to establish trust. It helps you to, number two, increase your credibility. Number three, it helps you to sell easier. And number four, it helps you to gain respect among your peers. Okay. It helps you to gain respect among your peers. So when it comes to authority, remember I said authority is the power to influence. Okay. When it comes to building authority, it's not as hard as you think it is. Building authority is so much easier than what you think. Now, let me give you an example. When I went to this event one time, and it was this big concert. I was at this church concert, and the parking lot was packed. Like, it was so crowded that like people were parking like on the medians, because it was just so, like, we were in the parking lot like sardines. And one gentleman got out of his car and he put his hand up and he started directing traffic. And guess what? People started following his instructions, because he was the one who stepped out and put his hand up and started directing people. That was instant authority, right? We started following what he was saying, the instructions that he was giving, because of his authority that he built instantly. Okay. It's just like the crossing guard at my kid's school. He's got on a lime green vest and he's got a stop sign, right? He's seen as an authority. Okay. And so when there's certain things that you can do for your brand that are going to establish you as an authority, it's going to cause people to see you as an authority, just like the examples that I just gave. And we're going to talk about those things. Tammy says, can someone list number 1 and 2? Okay, so number 1 is establish trust. Building authority helps you to establish trust. And number 2, it helps you to increase credibility. Okay, we're going to talk about some of those things. Okay, so I want to talk about 6 steps to building brand authority. So these are the things that you can do to build brand authority. The first thing you got to do is you got to get brand clarity, and that's what we're working on this week. We're working on getting clarity so that you understand what you're here to do and what your goals are. Okay, so brand clarity, you got that this week. We got that covered this week. Okay. The next thing you want to do to build brand authority is you want to start to gather your audience. You want to start gathering your audience, and that could be however you want to gather your audience. It could be you building a Facebook group to gather your people. It could be you building an email list. Now, I'm not saying Facebook group is a requirement, because you don't have to have a Facebook group. You can do it the way that you want to do it. For me, I ran away from Facebook groups for a long time. Now I have a Facebook group. And so that's not like mandatory, but it is one way to do it. So you can build a Facebook group. I always teach my clients I'm always preaching to my clients about building their email list, or a phone number list, because we understand that we do not own Facebook. We don't own Instagram. We don't own TikTok. We don't own any of this. Okay. So when it comes to what is called traffic basically means eyeballs, right? And so when it comes to building a brand, you got to get eyeballs on your brand. You need that traffic so that you can get people to turn off and join your audience. So you need eyeballs on your brand on a regular basis. Okay. And what happens is the more people see your brand, the more people interact with you, then the greater your authority, the more your authority builds up. And so gathering your audience is really important. But if you keep people on social media and you never move them off social media onto your email list, then your business is built on social media. And listen, we don't own any of this traffic, right? Like some of you are watching me on Facebook. We've got people watching from Facebook. We got people watching on LinkedIn. We got people watching on YouTube. So what if Zuckerberg wakes up tomorrow and is like, you know what? I'm tired of Facebook. I'm shutting it all down. Not saying that would happen, but you understand where I'm coming from. If Zuckerberg got up and decided he was going to shut Facebook down and all of your whole audience is in the Facebook group, then what happens to your business? Your business will shut down with the social media platform. That's why I teach my clients how to move people from that Facebook group or wherever they're gathering their audience over to an email list that you will always have control over. Okay. So you got to take traffic that you don't own and convert it into traffic that you do own so that you can continuously gathering your audience. Most people use social media as the last stop, but it really should be the first stop. The first stop that people are connecting with you on could be social media, or if you do speaking engagements in person, that could be their first time meeting you. But you can still convert that traffic into traffic that you do own, okay? So you want to think about how you're going to gather your audience. Why do I say that? Because you want to have people to market to. You got to have people to sell to when it's time to sell. When you're first starting out, you don't necessarily need to worry so much about an audience. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you. When it comes to gathering your audience, don't get so wrapped up in the numbers. Because for some reason, we have grown to equate success with the numbers, and that is not always true. Numbers do not necessarily add up to success. One of my clients was working with one of her clients, and she said, Shanta, the lady has over 100,000 followers and she's not making any money because she did not know how to monetize her audience. She didn't know how to translate that into money. So the numbers were there, but the income was not. And it works the opposite way too. It goes the other way around. You could have a tiny audience and be making a lot of money with a tiny audience. So don't get so wrapped up in the numbers, but focus on the quality of your audience before you focus on the quantity. Because what could you do in a room with 1,000 people who are not interested in what you offer? Nothing. Okay. You got 1,000 followers and none of them care about your offer, you're going to struggle to sell anything to them. But if you got 1,000 followers who are interested in what you offer, then you are ready to make some money. Okay. So don't focus on the numbers and don't get stressed out about that. Focus on the quality of people that you're adding to your audience, because that is what makes the difference. That's what's going to make the difference. Okay. I know multimillionaires who have 800 followers on Instagram. Okay. Carmen says, I'm so glad you said that about the numbers. I would rather monetize. Yes. Oh my goodness. That's it, Carmen. That's where it's at. You can monetize a tiny audience. You can monetize a tiny audience. Okay. Been there, done it. So you want to gather your audience. You want to have a place where you're gathering your audience so that when it's time for you to sell, you've got a pool of people who are interested in what you offer. Okay. The most heartbreaking thing is to create something and then you put all this hard work into creating and then it doesn't sell. That's why I talk about how to sell your offer before you actually create it. As long as you have the transformation, this is how my clients sell their offer. We work on the offer and then they sell it, and then they get clients and then they build their program out as they go. If you're one of those people, you're waiting until your offer is all the way done, that's going to keep you stuck for a very long time. Okay, you don't need to have your offer all the way done before you sell it. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do to build brand authority is you want to create relevant content. You want to create relevant content for your audience, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You want to create relevant content because the word author really is, if you go look up the word author, you will see that the word author means to originate. We have associated author with writing a book, right? Because an author, to us, an author is someone who writes a book. But if you go look that word up, to author means to originate. And these days, there's so many different ways to originate things. You can originate, yes, you can write a book, you can write a blog post, you can do a video, you can originate content on a regular basis, right? So, and when you think about authority, if you look closely at the word authority, you will see that word author. Author means to originate. Your authority is directly connected to what you originate. So if you try to build authority and you haven't originated anything, then you're going to struggle to build authority. But if you want to build authority and you're originating something, you're creating content, whether it's written, whether it's video, whether it's audio, you're going to want to create content on a regular basis because it's directly tied to your authority. Okay. And I'm not saying you got to go out and build a website right away. I mean, eventually, yes. If you don't have a website, I know a lot of people who they're ready to start, but they're like, I need a website. You don't need a website to get started. You don't need an email list to get started. Okay. Even though I preach email list, you don't need it to get started. Okay. However, I do encourage my clients to eventually get that email list going as well. Is get that email list up and running so that you can start gathering your audience. Okay. So you're going to want to create relevant content on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Inside of my program, I have and I may open this up publicly, but I have a session where I got with my clients and we created 90 days worth of content on a Saturday. We hung out on Zoom for a few hours. By the time we left, they had 90 days worth of content. Okay. So we're going to talk about how to create content in just a minute. Okay. So then after that, number 4, you want to focus on increasing your visibility. And I talk about when it comes to increasing visibility, I help my clients to pitch to be featured on other people's podcasts and different things of that nature so they can get the visibility that they need to build their audience. There's so many different ways you can get visibility. Most of the things that I teach right now are organic. I do teach on Facebook ads because I used to do Facebook ads as a done-for-you service. However, I don't do that anymore. So I do have the ability to build websites. I do a lot of technical things, but I usually don't do them like publicly. But if I have a client who's really struggling on certain things, I help them to navigate through the technical stuff. So I do talk about ads. However, most of my clients are using organic strategies. I have one client who owned an online boutique, and she owns a gym, and she owns 3 childcare centers, and she has a real estate license, and she's always working on something new. So with her, she does ads because, for her online boutique, she needed to run ads to get people to the online boutique. However, when it comes to getting clients, there's so many ways to do it without running ads. And I'm not saying don't do ads, but I'm saying when your offer is dialed in and when you've got clients coming in, you know that your offer is validated because people are enrolling in your program, and you've got that thing dialed in, then run some ads, right? If you choose to. But there's so many ways to get plenty of clients without running ads. So that's what I'm talking. When I'm talking about increasing visibility, the more visibility that you get, then the greater your audience grows. And so if you've ever launched anything, or if you've ever tried to get clients enrolled in anything and you struggled, it probably wasn't the offer. And it's definitely not you, right? Most likely you just didn't have enough visibility. You didn't have enough eyeballs on it. Okay. That's why I help my clients to reverse engineer the numbers. If they want to get a certain amount of clients, and I'm like, okay, this is how many people you need to talk to. This is how many people you need to get on your webinar. Because business is a numbers game, y'all. Like, business does not discriminate, right? Success does not discriminate. It's available to anyone who will do the work. And so when you understand that business is a numbers game, all you got to do is work the numbers, right? If Tammy is like, listen, I want to get 10 clients by the end of the year or in the next 90 days, then what we would do is we will reverse engineer the numbers. And I would say, okay, Tammy, based on what you want to do, this is how many people you need to reach out to, or this is how many people you need to talk to, or this is how many people you need to get to your workshop. And then that is just a numbers game. And so if you have experienced any type of issues where you launch something, you're like, oh my goodness, that did not go well, it most likely goes back to your numbers. Okay. And the great thing about the numbers is you can work the numbers. So if you realize, okay, wait a minute, I'm getting close to the end of my 90 days and I haven't reached my goals yet, you can go back and look at your numbers and see, okay, well, instead of me talking to 10 people this week, I need to talk to 15 people this week. And you can work those numbers out. Carmen says, I'm so not technical. That's okay, Carmen. Most people are not. Most people are not. But the cool thing is you don't need a whole lot of, you don't need to be super technical. I always tell people, keep it simple. Keep it simple. And I talk about that as well, how to keep it simple so you're not getting overwhelmed with technology. Okay. So that is perfectly okay. So then the other thing you want to do, number 5, we're talking about 6 steps to build brand authority. Number 5, you want to make offers, meaning you have to sell. So if you're scared of selling, then you got to get over it and work. You got to work through that. You're going to have to make offers because your offer is also a part of your brand. And if you don't make offers, you're going to have a nice brand and your business, the business side of your brand is going to be failing. So you got to make offers. Okay. Your offer is directly tied to your authority. Anytime someone sees something that you created, whether it's a blog post, whether it's you doing a live video, whether it's you sharing some tips and strategies, that increases your authority, right? When you have created an offer, you can say, like Tammy works with women in leadership. And let's say Tammy has a women's leadership. We're just going to call it women's leadership program for now, right? So if Tammy's able to say, yes, I'm the creator of the women's leadership program, that instantly adds to her authority because she created this program. So anything that you create is going to add to your authority. And then your offers also go along with adding to your authority because it's something that you created. Okay. This is the one of the biggest things that I help my clients with is creating their offers. Okay. And many times it's a high ticket offer. My clients really don't charge anything less than $350 a month. Unless I had one client, two clients who wanted to do something different. I had one client who we created a program for her because she wanted to help people to build their credit. And if people are working on their credit, they may not be on the high end of being able to invest. Okay. And so we priced her program a little bit differently. Then I have another client who works with young people. She works with teens. And when we built her program, then we priced it accordingly. However, her services are still high ticket for young people because guess what? Parents are paying. And just like I talked about, I think it was Sunita that I was talking to. When I said people are paying top dollar, I pay for my daughter to do dance. I pay for my son to take Taekwondo. And my husband and I are in the process of getting our kids into private schools right now. And so parents pay to invest in their children. Okay. So it's still high ticket. Okay. So you got to make offers on a regular basis. And then number 6, you want to focus on also refining your sales process. You want to refine your sales process. I think the biggest reason why a lot of coaches and consultants struggle is because they don't have a sales process. They don't know how the steps to take someone through to take them from being interested in their program to actually enroll in their program. And I do teach on that as well. Okay. But for each person, the sales process could be different. I have one client. She does not like doing launches. She does not like doing webinars. She closes her clients in the direct messages. She uses direct messaging strategies to close her clients. And so, and I also teach on that as well. Okay. Yep. Be okay with getting a no, but keep going. And that is absolutely true. If you're scared of people saying no, it's going to be hard because people are going to say no all the time. But remember, it's a numbers game, right? So if you find out, let's say Carmen is like, okay, I want to get my first 5 clients in my brand new program. And let's say Carmen talks to 10 people and then she gets 1 yes. Then Carmen can understand, okay, if I want 5 more clients, if I want 4 more clients, I need to talk to 40 more people, because when I talk to 10 people, I got a yes. I got 9 no's and a yes. And that's discouraging. When you don't understand the numbers and you get those first no's, you're like, oh my goodness. You start rethinking your whole calling. Like, Lord, did you really call me to this? Right. And so because of that, it can be discouraging. But when you understand the numbers, then you're encouraged to keep going, because you're like, yep, I gotta know, but eventually I'm gonna get to my yes. Let me keep going until I get to my yes. Okay. So you've got to have a process, a sales process, where you're repeatedly working on your sales goals every single day. Okay. So let's talk about when you start creating content, let's talk about some authority building headlines. And the reason why I call these authority building headlines is because the way that you word things, remember when I talked about positioning, right? It's about how you position things. It's not always about how much you know. It's about how you position that thing. And that is where my expertise comes in. Even if you're brand new, I help people who are brand new to coaching, to the business side of things, right? Or consulting. I help them to stand out like a pro, because I specialize in the positioning. Okay. Even if you don't have any experience with business, I can help you to position yourself like a pro. So that's why I'm telling you, it's all about how you position things. I'm constantly working on it's just like I told you guys before, it's just a God-given gift. Even like when I was in the military, to like my friends, and even with my husband, I'm always in his ear about, if he's like, oh, I want to do this next. I'm like, okay, well, you got to do it like this, because, or you got to say it like this, because if you say it like that, they're going to think this. But if you say it like this, they're going to think that. I just have a way of knowing how words come across to people. And for example, I'm like, I get on my husband's nerves, but one time we went to Starbucks, and I told him my order, and he said it a certain way, and I was like, babe, I'm like, you said it like that. I'm like, they're going to think that you meant this. And so we got to the window and they made my order wrong, but they made it exactly how he explained it, exactly how he said it, but it wasn't what I wanted. But the way that he said it is exactly how they made it. But I knew instantly, I'm like, the way that he said it, they're going to think that he means this. And that's exactly how they interpreted it. Okay. That's how I've been able to navigate through things and accomplish things that I did not think I could accomplish, because of the words. Okay. When I was on Food Network, I thought to myself, okay, these 3 judges are the ones that I need to impress in order to win this thing. And so I said to myself, how can I impress them? I'm like, this is the last round. What can I say to them to win them over? And so I had a few minutes and I thought about what I'm going to say to them. Okay. So I said to myself, how can I get them to see that I'm doing all the things that they have, all the things that they critique me on? I'm fixing all of those things. And so when they came to me, and I only have a very short time. So when they came to me for my last to judge my last meal, I started talking, and I started communicating to them what I wanted to get across to them. And I ended up winning them over based on some of the things that I was saying to them, because I wanted to show them, like, listen, I've been working really hard to do the things you guys have been telling me to do, right? Because I recognize them. I'm like, okay, I recognize they're the ones who can determine if I'm going to win this thing or not. This is the last round. And so the wording and the stories and how I structured things was able to get them. I was able to get the message across to them that I wanted to get across. Okay. Your wording matters. How you position things matter. Okay. So we're going to talk about things that you can post, right? So today you're going to get some content ideas. Okay. So first of all, let me know in the comments. The first thing you can think about when it comes to what kind of content you're going to create. I want you to think about those things that you see your ideal clients doing, because we already know you're the expert, right? We already said you're not a new kid on the block when it comes to doing what you do, right? But you might be new to the business side of things. So let me know in the comments, what's something that you see your people doing that makes you cringe, that makes you think, If they would just do this one thing, they could fix that whole issue. What are some of the biggest mistakes you're seeing your ideal clients make? What is it that they're doing that makes you cringe? Okay. Carmen says repeating negative patterns. Okay. Amen, Carmen. The wording of messaging is so critical. So true. So let me know in the comments what you see your ideal clients doing that just makes you cringe. Okay. All right. So when we get to the authority building headlines, why are you writing those in the chat? Because I'm going to go back to those. Okay. So authority building headlines. Number one, my favorite one is the how-to headline. The how-to headline. Let me give you an example. Carmen just said repeating negative patterns. How to stop repeating negative patterns that are preventing you from healing from the past. Something along those lines. Because I'm trying to remember all of the things that Carmen talks about, okay? How to stop repeating negative patterns that are keeping you from healing from the past, or how to stop repeating negative patterns that are hindering you from achieving your goals. How to listen before speaking. How to stop trying to do everything on your own, okay? So give me some more, guys. Give me some more things that you see your ideal clients doing that makes you cringe, so I can give you some more headlines, okay? The other one is the how-to without headline. The how-to without headline is another favorite because the strategy behind the how-to without headline is you're telling them how to do something that they want to do, and you're telling them how to do it without that thing that they want to avoid. What is the pain that they want to avoid, okay? So let me give you an example. I don't know why we're like this as human beings, but like if you see a headline and it says like how to get in shape without going to the gym, how to lose weight without working out, like why, like I don't know why we like this, y'all. But that kind of stuff sells, right? Because people are like, well, shoot, I don't have to go to the gym. Let me look at this headline, right? Think about what they want to do and what pain they want to avoid. How to build your coaching business without a large audience. Like Carmen, one of Carmen's pains is that she's not technical, right? How to build a coaching business without technology overwhelm. I love this, Carmen. How to love without limits. That's powerful, Carmen. That's a great headline. How to love without limits. I like that. Okay, so how to without, what's the pain that they want to avoid? Okay. Another authority building headline is 3 ways, or whatever number you want to put. 3 ways to stop trying to do it on your own. 3 ways to love without limits. Okay. It could be 5, 7. I like 3. I don't know why. I just like 3. The most I usually do is 5. Okay. Every now and then, if it's absolutely necessary, I'll do more than 5. Because in one of my free courses, I teach 7 ways to get new clients online. And I actually need to go back and add a number 8 to that. So in rare circumstances, I do more, but it could be 3 ways, 5 ways, 7 ways. And then number 4, the same way, 3 ways to without, 3 ways to, and then you give them without whatever that pain is they want to avoid. Okay. 3 ways to find new coaching clients without running Facebook ads or without running ads. 3 ways to build your coaching business without running paid ads. Okay. Number 5 is the secrets to headline. Okay. The secrets to headline. The secrets to, let me see. The secrets to listening before speaking. That's a good one. And especially if you tie it to something very specific. Like, let's say, for example, is in a relationship, a marriage. Secrets to listening to your spouse before speaking. Okay. So you got some insider stuff that you can share. And let me tell you, these headlines, even though I understand the power of these headlines, I still click every single time. If I get an email that says secrets to improving your golf swing, right? I'm gonna click on that because I'm like, I want to know. Let me see what the secrets to a better golf swing are. Because I told you guys the other day, I've been learning how to play golf, and it's a challenge to me, but I'm enjoying the challenge very much. So if I get something like that, I'm like, oh, I want to see what the secrets is. Everybody wants to know the secrets, right? Something about the word secrets makes us lean in and say, okay, let me see what this is all about. Okay. The other one is number 6, the biggest mistakes. Biggest mistakes. The biggest mistakes you're making when you're building your leadership team. Biggest mistakes you're making when you're trying to heal from trauma. Okay. These are all headlines that build authority. Okay. So today, I want you to take one of the topics that you wrote on day 1 and write in use an authority building topic, use an authority building headline to write out a topic headline for your next piece of content. Okay. Now, if you're feeling really bold, you can go. Why don't you go ahead and share that content? It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be on a blog post, right? You can do what's called micro blogging. Put a little picture up and then write your caption out. And it could be one of these topics. It could be how to love without limits. Let's say Carmen is like, okay, or let's say she wants to use 3 ways to love without limits. Number 1, forgive. I'm just making this up, Carmen, but you know your stuff better than I do, but I'm just making an example. So let's say number 1 is forgive the person who hurt you, or forgive those who hurt you. Number 2, make a plan to move forward. Number 3, spend more time with people, or spend more time doing things you love. Something along those lines. But Carmen can explain it better than I can, because that's her niche. But I just wanted to say that just to give you an example. Okay. So today's homework assignment is to choose one of the topics you wrote back in session 1 and create an authority building headline out of that. And I'm telling you guys, hear me on this. When you start sharing stuff like this on a regular basis, it's going to shift how people are seeing you. It's going to change how people are seeing you. They're going to start to see you as a person who has the answers, as a person who has the solution. Okay. And that's what you want to do when you're building authority. You want to position yourself as a person who can help them with that issue. If Carmen is talking about how to love, how to heal from trauma, how to set goals, how to reconnect with my purpose again, then I'm going to start looking at Carmen like, I need all of this. I'm going to start seeing Carmen as an authority, as a person who can help me deal with that situation. If I want to work on building my leadership team, and Tammy is posting about leadership and not doing everything on their own, and she's talking about how to delegate, how to put trust in your people, how to train your people up so you can trust them. I'm going to start looking at Tammy like, oh my goodness, I need to talk to her because she's got the answers to what I'm dealing with right now. She's got the medicine for the pain that I'm experiencing right now. Okay. So now remember, speak your audience's language. Okay. If somebody has a headache, they don't necessarily care about all the little ingredients in the medicine, right? If you gave somebody a bottle of Tylenol and he was like, here, this is going to help your headache, right? Listen, I know for me, if I had a headache, don't sit here and try to explain to me all of these words that I don't understand anyway. But if you tell me this thing is going to help me with my headache, I'm all in, right? You don't have to say, well, it has this in it, it has that in it, it has this in it. Listen, all I need to know is this thing is going to help me with my headache. I need you to speak my language here, right? I'm not a doctor, so I don't even know what all those words mean anyway, but I just need you to speak my language. So remember in your content to meet your ideal clients where they are and speak their language, okay? So now I want to talk to you next about, for those of you who are, you've been hanging out all week, and for those of you who are looking for a solution to your problem, I want to invite you to join me in my Expert Branding Academy. Now, this week, we're going to continue to dive into some content, and I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not in a place where I can invest right now. Still show up, right? Still show up and get the information, because regardless, I'm still going to teach my heart out this week, okay? But I do want to invite those of you who are saying, okay, I need more of this. I need ongoing mentorship. I need ongoing support. I need more information about how I can execute this thing and bring it to pass, bring my vision to pass. Inside of my Expert Branding Academy, it is a 12-month mentorship program, okay? Inside of the Expert Branding Academy is where I help you to build your expert personal brand. I help you to create your high ticket offer, and then I help you to get paying clients. Those are the big things that I do inside of the Expert Brand Academy. But there are a lot of things behind the scenes that I also help you do. But the overarching outcomes are you building your personal brand as an expert, you creating that high ticket offer, and you getting paying clients. I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to accomplish all of those things. Okay. So it is a 12-month mentorship program. It's also a high touch program. What I mean by high touch is that we meet every single week. And you're not watching a whole lot of videos and going to try to implement this on your own. My style is I teach my clients how to do it, and then I help them to do it. Okay. I don't just leave my clients hanging like, well, go watch the video. And what that looks like is if one of my clients are struggling, I'll hop on Zoom with them. That's what I did with my client who closed a $27,000 sale. She was struggling to figure out how to pull this thing together, and I hopped on Zoom with her and we walked through all the points of her offer. If I have a client who has a launch coming up, I'll hop on Zoom with them and say, all right, let's get this, let's pull this launch together. And but the first thing that we do inside of the Expert Brand Academy is I sit with my clients for 2 hours. Sometimes it ends up being 3 hours, and I help them to create their high ticket offer, and I write the copy for that. Now, it is very expensive to hire a copywriter. Very expensive to hire a copywriter. Now, even though I don't call myself a copywriter, I write excellent copy, and I write the copy for my clients' offers so that when we're done in that session, they have an offer that they can actually start selling as soon as we're out of that session. Okay. I write the marketing language for them, and I help them I literally take them from idea to offer in this session. Okay. And so that's the first thing that we do inside of the Expert Brand Academy is we create that high ticket offer. Why do I do that? The reason why I do that is because I'm not out here to take anybody's money. I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to help you to make money. Okay. And I love it when my clients make their investment back. When my clients message me and they say, I already made my investment back, I get blown away by that. One of my clients actually 10x'd her income as a result of being in the Expert Branding Academy. Okay. So inside of the Expert Branding Academy, you get a monthly business class. And that's where I teach strategies to help you build your brand and set up all of your business fundamentals. I talk about everything from selling, selling on webinars, selling in the direct messages, nailing your sales process. I teach you on how to set up your email list, how to create your opt-in offer. We talk about everything from the start all the way to the finish when it comes to building your personal brand and getting those paying clients. And the reason why it's a 12-month program is because building a business takes time. And I'm in this to work with people who are in this thing for the long game, not just a couple of weeks. Now I do offer things sometimes outside of my Expert Brand Academy, but when it comes to this program is for people who are looking for mentorship for the long run. Now, I do offer workshops and things, but it's still not to the extent of the Expert Branding Academy. And what happens is over those 12 months, I get very familiar with my clients and with what they're working on. And I am a very hands-on type of teacher. I like being in my client's business. And what I mean by that is I like being involved in what they're doing and what's going on. And I don't just, tell them, well, go do this. I'm like, well, how is that going? I'm checking in with them and I'm holding them accountable. One of my clients told me a couple of weeks ago, she changed the amount of money that she wants to make. And she said, I was reluctant to tell you because I know you're going to hold me accountable. And I was like, you bet I am. I'm absolutely going to hold you accountable. But she went from wanting to make $60,000 to wanting to make $100,000 to now wanting to make $180,000. And then she increased it to 200,000 something a couple of weeks ago. But the thing is, what you really want to do is you want to get around people who are not afraid of your financial goals. When my clients say, I want to make $350,000, I'm like, let's do this. That doesn't scare me, right? Those are the kind of people that you want to get around when you're talking about, listen, I want to make this much money, and that's not intimidating to them. As a matter of fact, it's inspiring to them to help you to accomplish those kind of goals. Okay. So here's the thing, you guys. There's a lot going on in the economy right now. And even when the pandemic, when y'all remember, as a matter of fact, we're still in it, even though a lot of people have kind of pretended that COVID is gone, it's still here. But I want you to get in the mindset of abundance and understand and believe that no matter what you're seeing around you, God is abundant. There is money to be made. Don't let the news scare you or fool you. There is money to be made. And what it really is sometimes you have to just know how to pivot or how to shift with the times, but there is still money to be made. Let me tell you guys, I had my first $25,000 month during the pandemic. Okay. That was the biggest month that my business had at that time. And it happened during the pandemic. Okay. So I reached a new level of business during the pandemic. Okay. There is money to be made. While people were trying to figure out what the next step is, while people were struggling to see God's abundance, I had my biggest month in business during that time. Okay. And so did a lot of other people. There is money out here to be made. Okay. And I'm telling you, and I'm not just saying that, it's the absolute truth. Okay. So inside of the Expert Brand Academy, you get that monthly business class. I also give an implementation guide to go with that business class that you can actually download, and you can, take that implementation guide and print it out. So you actually have some type of handout that you can go use and stay on track to accomplish your goals. Then I do a monthly live review session where I give you real-time feedback on your business related content, your sales page, your emails, your offers, whatever it is that you're working on. You can bring it to the live review session and get some other eyes on it. And another thing too is, if other clients are on the call and they have expertise in what you're working on, they also give feedback as well. So you get other eyes on it, and you get real time feedback. The other thing that you get inside of the Expert Brand Academy is you get a monthly live laser coaching Q&A session. This is so you can get all of your questions answered. I know that you may have experienced this before, but I bought courses in the past and I've gotten stuck on those courses because I couldn't reach the teacher. I couldn't reach the instructor or the person who created the course. It is not like that inside of the Expert Brand Academy. There is time dedicated just for you to ask questions so that you can avoid those pitfalls that everybody experiences in business. You got time to ask questions. You got time to process things. Like I said, this is very high touch. We meet every Tuesday night, and every Tuesday night is a different topic. So one Tuesday, like yesterday, we had our monthly business class, okay? And then next week, we're going to do a live review session where people bring whatever they're working on to get ideas and get feedback. And then another Tuesday, it'll be the Q&A session. And then we also do a monthly workshop. This is like a co-working session where we do live step-by-step things together that move your business forward. We show up, we're doing the same things at the same time. One of my clients, we did a co-working session once, and one of my clients made a post. So this is how it looked. We got together. I had the post already pre-made, already worded. All they had to do was fill in the blanks. One of my clients made the post during our co-working session. We all made the same post. One of my clients made the post, and she got so many inquiries on that post that she was like, I'm so overwhelmed. I got so many people responding that I can't even keep up with all of this. And that's the client that I told you about who ended up closing 9 clients within less than 30 days of being inside of the Expert Brand Academy. And she ended up having to hire help. But that's what the monthly workshops looks like. It looks like us getting together and doing things together. It's a lot of fun when you're doing things, especially things that make you uncomfortable. It's better when you're doing it with the group. For example, we also went live together where everybody put their screens on mute. We all pulled out our phones and we went live. So those and it's just so funny because they laugh so hard because they're like, oh, and I told them, I said, listen, y'all come cute tonight. Okay, so whatever is cute to you, come cute tonight. And so when they found out they were going live, it was like, oh, that's what we doing tonight. So it was just a really good time, and it was just fun to do it together. But that's our monthly workshops. They're co-working sessions. Okay. Then you also get a jumpstart session where it says 60 minutes on the page. If you go to Expert Branding Academy, you can see all of the details. but it's usually it's 2 hours. So I need to update that. But it's a 2 hour session. And this is where we focus on putting your offer together. We're going to design your offer. Sometimes it does go over to 3 hours, and it depends on the client. If we're able to get through it pretty quickly, then we get in there and then we knock it out. Okay. But this is a session that when you leave, you're going to have a full offer to go and sell. The reason why is because I want you to be able to start making money right away. I want you to be able to make money sooner rather than later. It does not take you, you can be up and running and have income coming in depending on how fast you want to go within 30 days. Now, of course, everybody is different, and I can't guarantee you're going to be making money within 30 days because it depends on you and how you want to do things. But I'm just saying all this to say to you that it does not take 6 months to a year for you to start getting clients. Once you have an offer, you can start getting clients right away. And that is why that is the first thing that I do with my clients when they join is I help them to create that offer so that they can have an asset to go and make money. Okay. Then you get Facebook group access and you get membership login access. So in addition to the high touch that you get every single week, you also get a whole library of templates, videos that are already waiting for you. If you're like, okay, I already have an email list, but I need to work on my sales process. You can go straight to the sales process section and start refining your sales process. And then when we meet live, we can refine that sales process. You can ask questions and I can help you to tweak it and reverse engineer your numbers like we talked about, okay? But if you're the person and you're like, wait a minute, I need an email list. Let me go, I got to get my email list together. Then you can go to the email list section. And then when you come to the live review session, you can say, hey, I created my lead magnet. Can somebody take a look at this and help me to tweak this thing and refine it? But I'm just giving you the picture of what it looks like inside of the Expert Branding Academy. Now, if you're interested in joining the Expert Branding Academy, I want you to go to expertbrandingacademy.com. It's right there at the bottom of the screen, and complete an application. And if you qualify, if the Expert Branding Academy turns out to be a good fit for you, then I will book you on a Zoom call and we can talk more into detail about the Expert Branding Academy. And I also have some other opportunities to talk about to you as well. And we'll discuss those later on. If you're on the email list, you'll see some more of those opportunities come out. But this is for those of you who are like, okay, I need more and I'm ready to really get this thing going now. This program is not for people who want to dabble. This is a high touch program, and it's for people who are serious because I really go all in for my clients and I go hard for my clients. And the way that you see me showing up this week, this is how I am for my clients. Okay. And I don't leave them hanging and I don't leave them behind. And I told you before that I'm very involved. And I will tell you guys that it is difficult to get the kind of support that you get inside of the Expert Branding Academy because the thing is, when you're in like some of the larger programs, it's easy to get lost in the sauce because you don't get as much one-on-one attention. You don't get as much one-on-one focus. And inside of the Expert Branding Academy, you get to be where you are and you don't have to worry about not getting the support that you need. Because even if you're a beginner, you get the support that you need. You get the resources that you need. Even if you're seasoned, you also get the support that you need. Someone asked me, well, what about, being on different levels and how do I catch up with everybody else? It's not like that inside of the Expert Branding Academy. You don't have to catch up with anybody because you have the space to be where you are. All of my clients are doing different things. And so what happens is if you ask me a question, the answer that I give you may be different than the answer that I give to somebody else because they're at a different place in their business. And that is the beauty of the Expert Branding Academy is that you just get to be where you are and working together over time. I get very familiar with your business and you can ask a question and I don't have to even ask you a lot because I already understand your business. I already understand what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. So go to expertbrandingacademy.com and fill out your application. And if you qualify, I will book you on a call and we can talk more about you being a part of the Expert Branding Academy. And we'll talk about it more throughout the week, but definitely if it's something that's on your heart, let's talk about it. Okay. And So tonight, today, you're going to post your homework assignment, and we're going to talk about your topics that you're going to create. We're going to create some authority building topics. If you need ideas, just tag me. Say, hey, can you help me to flesh this out? I need some more ideas. But I want to see what kind of ideas you're coming up with for your authority building topics. And the other thing that I want you to focus on is creating a call to action for your topic. Okay. When you give a call to action with your content, a call to action tells people what to do next. You'll be surprised at how many people don't know what to do next. You have to tell people what to do next. So let's say, for example, let's say Tammy is doing a topic on leadership. And let's say hers are 3 ways to build your leadership team without overwhelm. And she's given her 3 ways to build that leadership team without overwhelm. And then at the end, she gives them the call to action. And she says, hey, if you're interested in building up your team, send me a direct message or click on this link and download my free guide on blah, 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 right? That is how you move your business forward, by giving people a call to action and telling them what to do next, right? You would think people just know to click or do this or do that. They do not. You have to give them a call to action. Tell them what to do next so that you can drive your business forward. Telling people to download your free guide. Telling people to send you a direct message. Why do I say direct message? Because it gets you in conversation with an ideal client. And you can find out what their struggles are and find out if you can actually help them, right? And then if you can help them, you make them an offer. And that offer can be done, sometimes you're going to be able to close sales in direct message, just like one of my clients. And then sometimes you'll be able to close that sale on a call, okay? So you want to give a call to action. So I want you to choose one of the topics that you wrote in session 1, create one authority building headline, and give your call to action. So let's say, for example, it's going to be Carmen, and Carmen's topic, let's say her topic is going to be 3 ways to love without limits. And then her call to action could be something like, if you're struggling to overcome some trauma in your life, click here to download my free guide on healing affirmations, right? So it could be whatever your call to action is going to be. And what happens is, when you first start out, you may not get as many responses, but when you're consistent with it, you start to see more responses. I remember when I did a call to action and I told people to send me a message if they wanted help with their personal brand. And people started messaging me, and I couldn't figure out why people were messaging me. I was like, where are all these messages coming from? And then I was like, oh, I forgot I told people to send me a message if they needed help with their brand. I could not figure out why I was getting all of these messages. And so, so be consistent with it. We'll talk a little bit more about this the rest of the week. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the 6 elements of offers that sell. And then on Friday, we're going to put together your 90-day brand and demand game plan. I'm going to give you an actual strategy for the next 90 days for how you can begin to build your personal brand and stand out as an expert online. So we'll go more into detail about that later on this week. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys know you can reach me on Messenger. You can hit reply to any of the emails that I send you. If you're in a Facebook group, I'm easily reachable. So feel free. If you're watching me on LinkedIn, you can send me a message. If you're watching on Facebook, you can send me a message. If you're watching me from YouTube, you can email me at info@shantaprince.com or come over to one of the other platforms and send me a message. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your time. I told you, if you show up and give me the time, I'm going to make sure you've got the value, okay? So tomorrow we'll be back at the same time, and we're going to talk more about building your brand online. Tomorrow is all about sales. So if you're one of those ones and you want to know more about sales, we're going to talk about sales tomorrow. I'm going to give you the 6 elements of offers that sell, and I'm going to talk to you. We're just gonna talk all things sales tomorrow, okay? So if you have any questions about sales, send me a message and let me know what your question is, so I can make sure I cover your question. Okay? All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful one, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time in the same place. Have a great one.